Welcome to this
No, try again. Try again.
This is
Try
a hard one.
again.
Well, all right. Welcome to this I
Keep
can't
going,
do it.
keep going.
I cannot do it. Welcome to this Welcome to this episode of Talking Lamar. I can't do it. Damn it. I cannot do it.
Do you know what? Props to you for trying.
You tried.
Yeah, props to you for what you... Do you want to try it one more time? You want to try it one
Yeah,
more time?
come on.
Come
You
on.
were always telling people you hate a quitter. Come
There
on.
you go.
Here we go.
Welcome to this viciturnary episode of Talking Lamar. Today, I'm talking about crazy things I did to lose weight over all these years. Let's get to it.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Sorry, I forgot what I was talking about. What are you talking about?
I am talking to you.
That's just what I was talking about.
It's Talking Lamar.
Woo, buddy, this English language is tough. It's tough. You know, I got to tell you, I have fought this, and anybody listening to this, if you've had any kind of weight thing over the period of years that you've been alive, well, welcome to the club, because there's a lot of us that have struggled with it. And my biggest struggle is I love food. I love how it tastes. I love how it smells. When I'm full, I don't want to quit because it's so good, you know, and I'm that way. And over my life, I got to figure I calculated it one time. I think I have lost and regained probably 300 pounds in my life. I mean, when I was a kid, we hadn't talked about this in a long time. The chubby husky jeans. That's what I had to wear, was the chubby husky jeans. And we'd go shopping, and my mama, I'd be over there looking at all these cool looking clothes, and she'd go, baby, you're not in them clothes. You got to come over here to the chubby husky. And they only had two colors, blue and brown. That was it. And they had them double knees because they felt like you couldn't walk. You're so fat. So, you know, it was just one of those things. And over the years, when I was a kid, I was probably the only kid when I was a kid eating Roman meal bread, because Roman meal bread was like the first marketed wheat bread, you know. I mean, everything else was white bread, and Roman meal comes up and it's grain bread. And they had this whole big deal, you know, you could lose weight. Well, I guess you could lose weight with it, but I kept putting the toaster and putting butter on it. It just didn't work out for me. But as I got older, I tried all kinds of different things. I went to this thing when I was married, my first marriage. We went to this thing that was called Physicians Weight Loss. And it was by a doctor.
I've heard of that. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And basically, they put you on a diet, but you pay this money up front. And and each week you had to go by and you had to weigh in and you had to give them a urine sample. So they would do a litmus test on it to see if you was in ketosis, if you were doing what you're supposed to be doing. And if you had 3 of those litmus tests and you didn't pass, they'd kick you out and keep your money. I mean, it was serious business. And so I would always pass the test, but I got to figuring this thing out. I'm thinking, we go by and we do the weigh-in on Friday, and we pee in the thing and they do the litmus test and you're clear to go. And they won't see you again till the next week. Well, as soon as we'd leave there, we would head out, we'd go somewhere, and we would eat the most wonderful meal, anything and everything I wanted to eat, desserts, didn't matter what, drink, everything, no problem. That's on Friday night. Saturday morning, I'm up drinking water. I'm drinking water, and I'm not eating nothing all weekend, you know. And next thing you know, I go back in, I've lost the weight, and I'm still passing the test. And they had these little group meetings, and people were struggling like crazy. And I'm just sitting there going, you know, and they're going, if I could just eat, I believe if I could just have one meal. And I'm thinking, well, you got your Friday night. I don't know what you're doing, but I'm going to go get my meal. But I didn't tell nobody what we were doing.
Can I tell you what? For people that don't know what ketosis is, I'll explain it to you. It means you've just wrung all the fun out of your life. That's what you've done.
So true. Max, I could not have described it better my own self. That is exactly right. That is exactly right. But it worked. I mean, it worked. And I probably lost 50 or so pounds, probably. But over a period of time, I wasn't on ketosis no more. And I wasn't, and I was eating whatever I wanted to eat. And so years later, something came up at the Budweiser place where I was working. And some guy was talking about trying to lose weight or whatever. And I don't know how we got into it, but there was a wager made on it, and we said, in 2 months, whoever loses the most weight in 2 months, it was $100. And so I said, okay, I'm in. He was in. And I had a guy that I worked with, and he was a sales manager at that time. And he was sort of an ass. And he said, I tell you what I want to do. I know you got that bet with him. I want to bet between me and you. I want to bet another 100 between me and you that you will not win this. I said, okay, that's cool. So every day when it got time for lunch, I would go home, and where I lived was close to a park, and I could walk out my driveway and turn left. And if I did through the whole park, it'd be 3 miles. And so I'd go home at lunch, and I would take a big, gigantic trash bag, and I would poke holes in it for armholes and another one for my head to go through. And I'd put a trash bag on, and I would do 3 miles. And this is summertime, buddy. It's hot.
You were jogging in a trash
Listen,
bag.
can I tell you something? I would talk to him on the phone while he was out there in the trash bag. What are you doing? I'm out here jogging in the trash bag, trying to lose weight.
And oh my gosh. I mean, yeah. And a lot of times that last half a mile coming in, I was seeing spots. It was
losing
strong.
all your fluid.
Yeah. And I'll tell you this, though, and you talk about me talking to Max. At one point, I did it one morning because some days I would go in later, and so I do it in the morning, and I would listen to y'all on my headphones, and something came up, and we talked about. I told the story about the guy that had the headless chicken. Do you remember this? Remember the headless chicken?
Yes, the guy that had the headless chicken. Yes,
had the chicken, and the chicken was still alive. It was alive without any head.
Right. Yeah,
and he would go to fairs and stuff with his headless chicken that was still alive. I remember standing out in my driveway talking to y'all about that, and I still had the trash bag on. But so anyway, I did that. And I don't know what that cat was doing, but he wasn't running around with no trash bag on. That's a fact. And so I wound up, I won that 100 and the other 100. But the other 100 from the other guy, that could have been 1,000 for me. Because I never said a word to him. And finally, he owed me the money. After it was over with, it was about a week. And he walked up. And he took a folded $100 bill and stuck it down in my shirt pocket and walked off. Never said a word. It killed him. It killed him. But then a few years later, we had another thing where a group of people got together and put money in a pot at Budweiser. They put money in a pot and winner take all on the thing. And it was for 3 months. And so every meal, maybe on the weekends I might deviate, but every meal, breakfast, lunch, dinner, egg white omelet with chicken and spinach. Every meal.
Didn't you eat broccoli
that
crowns?
sounds good. But
and broccoli
every
meal?
meal?
Every meal. Because I can eat the same thing every day. If I like it, I can eat it. And I would get up in the morning before work, and I would walk 4 miles every morning before work. And then when I got off work, I would walk 8 miles every afternoon. And I did that.
I gotta say, buddy, when you do something, you do it.
He is in it to
You're
win
all
it.
in.
He is the
Yeah.
most competitive person I know.
There
You
is
go
no
all in.
losing. There is no losing. No losing. And over a 3-month period of time, most people dropped out. I mean, most people just couldn't hang. And it was down to me and this other guy, the last two. And so I had been changing my clothes. Like, you know how if you're losing a lot of weight and you're wearing regular clothes, your clothes start to hang off of you. But see, I got a closet that's got fat Lamar, not quite so fat Lamar, and thin Lamar sections. I've got different sections. So some years of my life, I'm wearing the fat Lamar clothes. Some years of my life, I'm wearing the fairly thin Lamar clothes. And so what I did was, as I started to lose weight, I would go down in the shirts and stuff. So it gave me the appearance that I really wasn't losing that much weight because my regular clothes was beginning to hang off of me. So the last day of the thing, the guy's telling me, he goes, I've been pretty strong on this. I think this is going to be pretty close. It's going to be pretty close. And I said, so you working hard? He said, yeah, I'm working hard. I said, well, I'm getting ready to get off work. Let me tell you this. For the last 3 months, I don't know what you've been doing, but I've been doing 4 miles in the morning and 8 miles every afternoon. And I'm eating egg white omelets. And I blew him away. I absolutely blew him away. And I think it was 57 pounds at that point. And I mean, if I've got a goal, I'm good to go. I really, really am good to go. And over the years, we had a couple of more of those run-ins, but I couldn't. The only people that would enter it is if it had new people that come in, because the people that already worked at it, they wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. But we worked out at the Y. Me and my good friend, we worked out at the YMCA, and we have two YMCAs in Spartanburg. We have like the regular Y, and then we have like the West Side Y. So between the two YMCAs, they came out with a contest to see who could lose the biggest percentage of weight out of all of them. And they were like
and I know you were in. I know you were in that one.
They were hundreds of people. So this went for 3 months also. So what I would do is every day I watch what I ate, whatever. And every day I would go at lunchtime and I'd do the elliptical for an hour at a pretty high level. And then in the afternoon, I would do 4 miles on the treadmill and the weights and all the other stuff. And I did this for 3 months. And I was doing really well. I did really, really well. So I knew I was in the contention for it. So the last day, I got off work early. And so I go into the Y. And so I do the elliptical. But I'm doing it this is in the middle of the summer. I'm doing it with a winter coat and a toboggan on my head. I look like a fool. And what I would do is I did the elliptical and then I would go get in the sauna. And when I was getting dizzy in the sauna, I would get out of the sauna and I would go take a shower and I would get in the swimming pool to get reorganized. And I had a lady tell me that if you are trying to get rid of water weight or moisture, if you will get into the swimming pool, the pressure of the water, I don't know if it's true or not, she said the pressure of the water will push on you and it'll force your kidneys to want to empty your bladder. So I'm going back and forth, treadmill, sauna, swimming pool, treadmill, steam room, swimming pool. And I'm going back and forth all afternoon. And I quit drinking water the night before. So I get ready. It's getting close time because it was a weigh-in time. And so I've done everything I can do. I'm about to pass out. I'm here to tell you I look like death eating a soda cracker. I mean, I am. My eyes is sucking the back of my head. So I'm in the bathroom spitting into the toilet to get rid of any moisture that is left in my body. I go I go to weigh in, and I go up there and I weigh in, and it's like, I don't know, 64 pounds. I don't know. It was a lot. It was a lot. And I had to go sit in the car for a while before I could drive home. But they wound up, yeah, I won it. And
Of course you did.
I got a check for a couple of $100, but then get this. One of the prizes that you got was, some people had sponsored it, and they put up some prizes. And one of the prizes was a $100 gift certificate to a meat and three vegetable place in Spartanburg. But I've done it a bunch. I have done it a bunch. And I just got through. We had a client that I'd done some stuff for. But now I have finally figured out, except for this past weekend when Max and I were together and we got sort of sideways on eating bagels and stuff. That was wrong. That was very, very wrong.
We were doing it like it was its own competition.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think Lamar won this one too.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I did. I might have won it there, but I've lost it. But he and I both talked about this, and the difference between the way you feel when you eat good. I mean, you eat fairly good. I'm not saying you got to be ridiculous, but if you can get off that sugar and stuff, don't you feel different, Max?
There's no doubt. I mean, on that, I am foggy and I feel lethargic, and when I'm not on that, I really found it seems so much clearer.
While we were gone this weekend at our get together and whatever, I woke up in the morning with a food hangover. I can tell so much different. Sheri, do you notice that when you eat something bad that you can tell it the next day?
I feel sick almost immediately afterward. Yeah. And sometimes you're going to feel sick, and it's kind of worth it.
I knew it. I knew it. I was sick with regret. But now, coming back down the road from our get together, I was hating myself all the way back down the road. But I'm back doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So it's not too bad. But
I feel like you're so healthy right now. I feel like you're peak healthy right now. Yeah.
No, I am.
Feel like that?
And I do. And I've had to change. And to anybody that's listening to this, you can go on every crazy diet you want to go on. But if you go back to what you were doing, you're going to be back to where you were. Am I right, Mac?
Absolutely.
I mean, you've got to make a decision. And, and every once in a while, and here's my deal. If I go to somebody's house for dinner and I'm being really careful, I'm eating, green salads with grilled chicken and blah, 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 blah. I'm doing all of that. But I go to somebody's house and they have prepared a meal. I'm not going to not eat their food. I'm not going to do that. That's rude as heck. I'm not doing that. I just have to get back on the train a little bit harder the next day. But, I'm not, if somebody has a birthday, I'll eat a piece of birthday cake. Won't be a big piece of birthday cake, but I'll eat a piece of birthday cake.
You're real good about that. Cause like when we travel for work, it's hard to stay on track. It just is.
God, it is.
We just
Sheri calls you. Sheri, this is what Sheri does. She calls you up and she says, "What do you want? What kind of coffee do you want? What kind of this do you want? What kind of bourbon do you want?" She's asking you everything, and she brings your heart's desire. When you walk into this place, Sheri has got she's gotten everybody's favorite foods. I mean, she has, and it's really hard. It's really, really hard. It's fun, though. It's fun.
It's really hard when you're not at home and you don't have all your stuff and all your tools and all of your staples. It's really when you eat a very specific diet, I think it's hard to travel, especially with other people, and there's 6 of us traveling together.
It is.
Because, Max doesn't eat a lot of carbs. Max doesn't eat any sugar. We get up there and I was like, "Max, I'm really sorry about the carbs." And he goes, I already made the decision. I would be eating carbs.
That's right. That's
and enjoying them.
Yeah, that's true. Here's another thing I want to tell to anybody that's listening to this. If you're trying to do something, you're going to, especially at first, but even after it's all over, you got to sort of cook a lot of your food at home. You got to handle your
You
food.
do.
You have to handle your food because you know you know exactly what you can have, and you know what you're putting in the dish. Because when you go out, it's very hard. It's very hard.
And if you're going to go out on a road trip of any kind, you have to prepare your food ahead of time.
Yeah.
You just have to because you're going to succumb to the easy whatever's on the road food.
Yeah.
You got to load
Yeah,
a cooler with
right.
snacks,
Yeah,
or you're
that's
going to
right.
be finding yourself, with the flaming hot Cheetos and the Dr. Pepper at the gas station.
It is because here's my problem. My problem is two things when I make a bad decision on eating. When I'm hungry and I can't get to anything that would work for what I'm trying to maintain, and I get too hungry, I'm going to eat something. And once I get started, I put my head in a bag of potato chips, and that's it, buddy. I'm out. That's the whole. I can't get hungry. I have to be prepared for that. I have to keep something made in the refrigerator, so if I'm hungry, I can get to that. Because I've got no, I love food, man. I love food. I do.
And that's what's impressive about your discipline, because you do love food. You love to cook it.
Now,
you love to eat it. You like to look at it. You like to talk about it. You like to think about it. You like to daydream about it. You do love food.
Well, also, and Max will agree with this too. You got to move around when you can. You got to move around.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
really
and that's
do.
tough. This job is tough because we are in front of this computer and we are in front of this microphone all of the time.
And you're so tired at the end of it. You're so mentally tired.
Yeah.
And you're like, I know I need to get out there and do it, but it's hot as ballsies where we are, and it's been raining for weeks and weeks. And so you go, I'll get at it tomorrow.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, like I say, you just got, and any plan, I don't care what nobody, any plan will work. Any plan will work. I've done a bunch of different plans, and if you do what they tell you to do, it will work. But you have to do it. And you got to do it when nobody's looking at you. You got to do it when nobody's looking at you. And that's the deal.
And you do need to move around more. But to me, weight loss, a lot of weight loss is about what you eat and not, I went out and walked 5 miles, therefore I can have dessert now, because in your head you're going, yes, but I've moved around all this.
Yeah. I tell you what you can do. You can go walk 5 miles and pick up a Snicker bar and erase everything you've done. You can do that. Now, my deal is, if I put in them 5 miles, it's a little bit easier for me not to mess that up. I mean, you know, it's all about, but you got to know that if you do the hard work, you can, what you eat, it's everything. It really is. It is. It's everything. I wish it wasn't. I really do wish it wasn't.
They did. I read a really interesting study, to your point, Max, where they looked at all sorts of different factors. And they really found that even people who did not exercise in any meaningful way, calorie restriction not only caused weight loss, but they were healthier across the board. Mm-hmm. Did you see that same study?
I did.
Yeah. And
hey,
the
word
thing
of
go ahead.
The word of today. What are you going to do that word again and give us a definition?
See, he was going to use.
Yes, you promised you would start doing that.
Sherry,
right?
He was going to use the word moderation, but it's not in his vocabulary.
Vicidunary. Okay. And what that means.
Vicidunary. Okay.
There you go. God, see, you're like, what that means is like the full gambit, up and down, more and less. You know what I'm saying? It's like a roller coaster.
The whole spectrum. Yeah, the whole spectrum. Of it. Got it.
I mean, that's that. You know, and that's what this is. If you don't follow what you're supposed to be doing, that is exactly what this is. And I mean, it's just part of it. But Max, the one thing that Max is so good at, that no sugar thing, that right there. Honestly, if you just did that, your health would be so much.
I had those 2 chocolate chip cookies, and I almost couldn't sleep that night because I was so wired from it. And so it makes me really aggravated too. And that was something else that happened. And I went, oh, this is why you don't do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yep. That's the one. That is the one. Now, I think bacon's probably okay though.
I think
bacon
in
is
any
okay.
occasion, yeah. If
Yeah, I
it
think
fits
bacon.
anything.
Yeah. Listen, if you got a choice between a Snicker bar and a piece of bacon, you go with that bacon every time. Trust me on that. I believe that. That's what I live by. So, but yeah. It's anybody that's trying. Don't quit. Do not. Don't care how many times you fail. Am I right, Max?
That's right.
No matter how many times you fall off, you get right back up. You get right back up.
I used
because sooner or later it's going to stick.
And I used to be a smoker, and I can't begin to tell you how many times I attempted to quit. And somebody said, "Don't quit trying to quit." And one day it hit, and then I haven't had anything for decades.
Yep. That's the truth. That is the truth. Well, I think that's going to about wrap it up for today's not so exciting episode, but episode that, I appreciate y'all listening. I hope y'all enjoyed it. If so, tell somebody about the Talking Lamar podcast, and I think they'll appreciate it. I know I do. Also, check out the multiple award-winning and Webby-nominated True Weird Stuff podcast. You're going to like it. It's going to keep you up at night, sort of like them 2 chocolate chip cookies did Max, but it'll be from fear and concern. It'll keep you up, but it's entertaining. There's more to come on Talking Lamar, so don't stop, because you know what? I hate a quitter, and I hate a quitter in all things. Let us know what you think. Go to the Bob and Sheri app. Look down at the bottom. Click on that microphone and start talking. We listen to every message. Until then,